Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Denise Ramon, the medium extraordinaire. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Eric, hi, baby. I love you.
He says, hi, Mom, and he's just giving you the biggest hug ever. I just have chills on me how he's just hugging you. He just really loves you. I feel like there must be some kind of holiday or something special coming up the way he's hugging you.
Oh, I love you. I've been thinking about him a lot lately.
Okay.
You know, sometimes there's times where I just get caught up in all this and I forget, wow, I don't have him here, you know? So there's that. All right, we're going to do a part 2. Actually, it's really technically part 3 of conspiracy theories. We did one a long time ago, and then we did one, you and I, recently, and then we're going to do this one now. And, you know, I'll be honest with you. I don't know half of these things. I really don't. Here we go. Is the cabal, whatever that is, made up of both old money families and newer money families? And are the Koch brothers, oh my God, I just heard them on the news. Koch brothers part of the cabal. What is the cabal? Dude, I have no idea.
I don't either, but Erik says it's definitely made up of old money. And it's not from somebody that just got rich that became a part of it, but it's definitely old money. Is it new money? Erik says, yes, you can say it's new money, but it's just newer people. But they're, but he says they're all connected. He said, so it's really all old money. It's just like newer people come in, because he's showing me how some of the people have passed away that we have no clue about.
But then the next to the generation come up and are part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he's saying, yeah.
All right. Is it true that there is a thriving slave trade in the secret space programs? That human beings are sold to aliens for technology? Oh my God, that sounds awful.
Erik says he's telling me no, that's not true. He says no, that's not true. He says, you know, we sell people to other people. He goes, that's for sure. But we don't sell people to aliens.
Like, for example, we sell like little kids to an organ. Oh God. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's no good either.
No.
Now, would you just not tell me this because you don't want to upset us? Or are you being for real? I mean, Erik.
Yeah, Erik says that he's kind of laughing a bit with this, and he says the alien, we don't have to the aliens don't have to buy people from us to use. The aliens can just take us if they want.
That's a cheery thought, but yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, and he says, there's, you know, we don't all just come from, he says, you know, just one place. He says we all come from different parts.
Yeah.
And he says, so there's some of us that come here that do agree to go back to like the motherboard or the mothership and you know, and do stuff like that. But he says that we don't have that kind of control where we can sell us humans to the ETs.
Oh, good. Your hair looks really pretty, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
And we're going to I'm going to publish your first session on conspiracy theories Wednesday. All right, 2 days from now. Okay. All right. Is it true that up to 1 million humans are abducted and enslaved every year? I guess they're talking about ETs.
Erik is telling me, you know, there are humans that are abducted, but they're not used as slaves. It's
Okay.
he just says no, and he says, you know, they may some of he gives me the feeling though that they're not, whatever that they're doing, that they're not mistreated, but they're definitely not used as slaves like what we consider slaves.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
he says we very much mistreated what we call
Oh,
slaves.
yeah.
And he says they don't do that. They're just want to know stuff.
Yeah. All right. Now, just real quick yes and no questions because there's so many. Have humans colonized or established outposts on most of the planets and moons in our solar system?
He
Yes.
said no.
Okay. Have humans from Earth colonized other solar systems?
No.
Have humans from Earth colonized other galaxies? Well, the first one is, you know, the last one isn't true. It's probably not.
No, he says no.
Is it true that Americans can now be found throughout the Milky Way galaxy? Sounds like no, because of the other questions, right?
Yeah, he says no.
Okay.
You know, well, can Americans? He said no. But what he is telling me though, that some people have agreed to stay aboard a ship and go back with them and not come here.
Oh,
Come
but the
back here.
ETs?
Yeah, that they
Oh.
that the humans agreed to stay with them and not come back.
Well, did they used to be ETs themselves? Is that why, or why?
Well, he said, yeah, they're kind of from the same
Star
region.
system or whatever.
Yeah, that would be good star from the same star system, and they just agreed to stay back because it's from their perspective, there's not any.
Well, they got a huge Amex bill, and they do not want to deal with it. That's what. That is it. It's like, oh my God, I got $12,000 I owe. ET, take me home. Right. All right. Okay. How much do U.S. presidents and elected officials know about our secret space program? What is this SSP, secret space program? I don't know. But how much do they know?
Erik, he's saying that they know a lot, but they don't know everything.
Okay. So
Yeah.
what is this SSP? I never heard of it. Secret Space Program, if it even exists, basically.
Well, Erik says it does. And it has to do with, he says it really, it's all about fear because that's why they created it. He says that it's about exploring other places and figuring out that, like, they know that there's ETs, and so they're really trying to further research it. They're definitely trying to find life on other planets.
Yeah.
And the reason why Erik says it's so secretive is because of the amount of money that's being put into it.
Oh yeah.
He says he's showing me that the amount of money that's being put in that could end hunger here in the U.S.
So that's what they're trying to do. I mean, is this SSP finding about stuff about aliens and the technology? They feel like it can help mankind. Is that why it exists?
Kind of. Erik says they're not that
Altruistic.
Yeah, they're not that humanitarian for that to be their only reasons. And that it's just he says it's just like anything else. They know that there's more, so they keep wanting to find it. And the more they find it, he says the more they want to keep going. It's their thirst, their hunger to know more.
Cha-ching, probably. Mm-hmm. Do those in charge of the SSP believe they are acting on behalf of the American public and humanity, or this is a good question, or is it purely a self-serving enterprise?
Erik says he's saying on some level they feel like it's serving the Americans because it helps to comfort them and appease them as to why they're doing this, but ultimately it's all a selfish, it's just to satisfy their own
ego and pocketbooks.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
it really is. Erik says it's just, it's
Is it still funded by taxpayer U.S. tax dollars?
Yes, and Erik also says that there's foreign dollars that help support that.
Oh, good. That's the next question. Is the SSP still funded with, is it, or other nations, excuse me, involved in funding it?
Yeah, Erik says,
Really?
Yeah, because there's foreign dollars being put into it.
Like which countries? Name a couple.
I get Europe is involved.
Okay.
Yeah, I get Europe.
Okay.
And then I'm asking him now, is that why we have so much conflict or whatever it is we have? Because I really I don't listen to the news, and I don't know. But I saw a blurb today about Trump and Putin. I really don't know what it was about, other than they're selling off our debt. And I'm asking Erik, are they involved in it? And Erik lets me know that there is a connection there.
Okay, what about China?
He said, of course they have. Of course they do.
They got the fingers in the pie always.
Yes.
When will the truth about aliens and this secret space program come to light?
Erik says that the aliens and that are coming to light more, and that's going to come first. And he says that's coming. He says it has to come in spoonfuls, because there's still a lot of us that are real nervous and scared about it. So it's coming in spoonfuls. But he says it's happening. I feel like he's given me 10, so I'm feeling like within 10 years, he says it will be definitely exposed to everybody. Well, everybody will know about it.
Awesome.
It's like they won't be able to. He says they won't be able to hide it. He goes, however, there will be some people that just do not believe in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fear.
Mm-hmm.
What about, does Donald Rumsfeld or Dick Cheney, this person asks, have anything to do with the secret space program?
Erik says not to the degree that the reader that person asked the question, not to that manner that they're asking. But do they have some involvement? They know something about it. They do know something.
And that's it. Okay. Yeah. Are there people living and working on Mars?
Erik says not yet.
Okay. Can you name any figures like politicians, CEOs that are involved with the secret space program, Erik?
He tells me that wouldn't serve a purpose now to let, to tell people who's serving on it and stuff. I feel like he's letting me, like to say, name a person who's on it. But and the reason he's telling me that is just
safety.
Because people will watch these YouTubes more than what we're privy to, that we realize. And but he says there are a lot of current, when I say current, people who are in office now that do that are aware of this and do know about this,
Okay.
He says, because it can't be something this big. He says, how did this secret get out about this conspiracy, this theory about this happen?
Yeah.
Somebody had to have talked. He said, so there
Yeah.
are people still in it. And he goes, and they just, it's almost like the politicians, these are the politicians, and there's another line of politicians and another line. And it
Ah,
just depends on what level you are.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this same person, I think, talks about inner Earth civilizations. I guess that means civilizations that live inside the Earth. Well, first of all, does that even exist? Like the hollow Earth premise or whatever?
Erik is telling me, yes, that this does exist. And he tells me that this has been discussed before, but he's telling me that there is, which is interesting because this place has always fascinated me, the Antarctic. He says there is definitely some life underneath there, deep underneath of there. And
Interesting.
that is
Aliens? Aliens or humans or what?
I do get like ET type, like they're here, but it's, they live in a different, but it's a different dimension. Like he says, it's, even though it's lower, it's still different.
Oh, it's still a different dimension altogether. Is it true that there is an inner Earth community of intelligent velociraptors? Of velociraptors. Okay, sorry.
Erik says yes. Erik
Wow.
says yeah.
Is that close to, the reptilians? Well, actually, this is the next one. Is it true that our planet is controlled by Draco reptilians? Oh my God, it's scary.
Erik says no, that's not true. And I'm asking him, like, is that, he said no. Really, yeah, Erik says no.
All right. Is it true that they hold down human consciousness to keep us asleep? And where on earth do they live?
Erik says there's a lot of theories about our human consciousness. He says, but Erik says, bottom line, that nobody holds our own human consciousness down but ourselves.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. He says, we're the ones that do that to ourselves. He says, because ultimately, he says, nobody has control over us as people think, and we do have a free will.
Yeah. So where do these Dracos live?
He says, not in the U.S. He's showing me, not in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
And the reason he says it's because it's, I guess, I don't know. He makes me feel like there's, is it Australia or?
Tell her, Erik.
I know. I'm like, or I guess it's Australia or Austria. I'm not real clear what he's saying, but it's like they like the energy that's over there.
So what is it, Erik? Australia or Austria? Number one or number two?
He says Australia.
Okay. All right. When reptilians live as humans, are they living human incarnations, like born human, or merely assuming a human form like a shapeshifter would do?
Erik says that they're born to be humans, just like some of us are born to be humans, but we're not really. We're from another planet,
star system, like Canadians and
exactly
from Sirius. Okay.
Yeah, he said so. Can they take on a role? He said. He says he doesn't see that. He doesn't see that where they can just
Are they bad or good or both?
Erik says from how we judge it, he says that they're both. They're a little of each. It just depends, you know.
Like humans are sometimes
yeah,
good and sometimes bad. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, because he's saying they're not for what he's like. They're not born mean or hateful.
Oh, okay.
They're not born that way. It's just, he says, and you kind of take on, you know, the same type of, like, how's he saying, like, he's saying territory, but you kind of take on the environment that you're born into.
Ah,
He says
okay.
it's more about survival for them, though.
Where are they from?
Where he's showing me, it's like, it's just so far away. When he's showing me, he's just showing me like we're passing all the stars, all the lights and everything, and it's dark. It's just, he's not giving me a planet.
It's far away.
Just extremely far. Like we
Well,
hadn't
how
even
do they
been.
get here? Are they able to like transfer, go through wormholes or whatever? I mean,
He says because they know how to. It's almost like they walk in from one dimension into another. So they walk from one. I guess it's like a reality. I guess is what it is.
Yeah, something able to shift realities.
Yeah,
that's so cool. Can we expel the reptilians from our world? This person asks.
Erik says we're doing that now on a lot of levels. The way everything is coming up from the surface, you know, people think everything's fallen to pieces. He says, really, it's not. Everything's fallen into place. And so, you know, we're getting rid of the stuff that no longer vibrates on this planet. Yeah.
Okay. On September 11th, 2001, was the Pentagon hit by a plane or a missile?
Erik is showing me a missile.
Oh, okay. Who fired it? And yeah, who fired it?
Who Erik is showing me that it's who was ever involved with, I guess it's the people who were involved with the planes crashing, you know, because he showed me all those people together. Because he says it was a terrorist attack, even though we knew.
Yeah. What was the government that had our government that had something to do with it? Or was it purely a terrorist attack?
He's telling me that our government didn't do that one. That's what he's telling me. Our government didn't do that one.
Uh-oh. Well, what did they do? You're acting like you don't have to answer it if you think we're unsafe. That's fine.
Well, Erik says just know that that whole thing, and he says, and it's out there. Everybody can read about it because everybody knows it's seeping out at the seams, and it continues. Sometimes it goes quiet, but people are still looking into it. You know, people like you and I wanting to know whatever. But he says there is no way that happened without us knowing about it.
I'm thinking.
He said there's just no way. He said that's like saying we got to be he's saying that's like saying we got to be the dumbest people on the block. Yeah. And when he's saying us, he's talking about our government. He said, he's not going to go into detail, but he said, of course they knew. Of course they knew about it.
Why didn't we do something about it? Was there a nefarious reason why they didn't stop it?
I feel like, from what Erik is telling me, it's almost, he gives me the feeling like, and I'm just like going, oh my God, it's just like, I don't think that they knew how bad it was going to be, but at the same time, he gives me the feeling it's like why we left so many people in Vietnam.
Yeah.
It just, they didn't think enough about it. They didn't think that it was a big deal.
Ugh. Tell
Because
that to the parents, man.
I know.
Ugh. Okay, what happened to American Airlines Flight 77 and the people on board?
American Airlines, I'm asking Erik. Erik gives me the feeling like, did that crash or something? Because he gives me the feeling like,
I think so, but
because
I
something,
can't remember the actual flight numbers.
yeah, he's showing me like something strange flew, like something, it's almost like something, I feel like something crashed into them or something.
Oh, like
Not
what?
a,
A missile?
not another aircraft or anything, but I feel like something like crashed into, when I say crash, like this is the nose of the plane and it just like sideswiped them or something.
Well,
And
like, was it the ground that crashed into them?
I feel like just some kind of debris, some kind
Oh,
of
okay.
debris,
All
some
right.
kind of,
Okay.
yeah, some kind of debris. And I'm like, is that what, I also Erik's giving me like there was some engine failure of some sort.
Well, it could be, when you have engine failure, if the fan blade breaks up, that could be the debris that, or, a bird attack. It can, birds being sucked into the engine could do that too. Could it have been something like that?
Erik said it wasn't a bird, but I don't get that. Erik says it's some form of debris, and I'm like, so I'm asking,
It's not important,
yeah, I said,
really.
was it this from space or something? And he's like, he's just telling me it was some form of debris, some type of debris.
Okay.
And it must have been big, whatever it was, I would think.
Oh, it didn't have to be, but it sounds like, the way Erik's talking, it is not important to know what kind of debris. What was the agenda of the American officials who facilitated, if they did, the 9/11 attacks? Were there Americans that facilitated the 9/11 attacks? Twin Towers and stuff?
Erik said there was no committee where they sat down and said, okay, let's plan this attack to happen on
Okay.
9/11 and let's do this. That actually, he says, that didn't happen. But they knew something was going to happen.
Yeah.
And he says, and people have already read about that. He's telling me how there's people that didn't take airplane, didn't fly on a plane.
Yeah.
A lot of people sent their family out of town because they really didn't know. Erik says that one of the places on the map, though, he's showing me like the Houston area.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's showing me like the ship channel area,
Yeah.
which would make sense. And then he's telling me, remember they were on a high alert over there too at the ship channel shortly after that, not long after that. So yeah, so
I bet.
yeah,
Okay.
because that would be a chain reaction of explosions.
Oh, yeah. Are any other false flag attacks being planned by our intelligence community?
Erik says no. Erik says no.
Okay.
No.
Here's switching subjects. Is Noah's Ark on Mount Ararat? And was it ever there?
Erik says there is an ark there, but I feel like there was more than one. Because
Oh.
he's showing me, he's like giving me a reflection like there's more than one ark there.
Oh.
Maybe not of the same size, but he's letting me know like there was more than one.
Wow. How many animals were aboard Noah's Ark? I mean, was the whole Noah's Ark thing, is it really real anyway? And if so, in what way? Just tell us a little bit about that.
Erik says, he said, well, first of all, there's no way it could have held two of every kind of animal on it.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Was it real? He said, it, that really was real, but it wasn't. He said that it's kind of an extreme thing, that you had to get on the ark to be
Yeah, it's
saved.
hyperbolized pretty much.
Yeah. He says it's kind of.
Well, what is the truth behind it? This guy, has a Noah app, and he saw that it was going to rain a whole bunch, and I'm just kidding. But so what happened?
He said that man Noah, and I say that man because I wonder, like, was his name really Noah? But
Yeah.
but he said that he did have dreams and visions and was told to go do something. And he says really what it was about is more about obedience, and not obedience to obey Jesus or God, but obedient within his own self and to trust within him own self.
Okay.
And he said that was a real big thing to learn.
So what did he do? He said,
So
big flood, so.
He really did. This is so weird because I never read the Bible really, but Erik is saying that it was like for this like this boat, which I'm sure was bigger than a boat, but he said the flood, it's almost like it was a river just running through a place. Erik is showing me, and to shift things over to,
like an arroyo, sort of like that. Flash flood, arroyo.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it wasn't like the whole U.S. flooded and he was on the boat going somewhere.
Okay.
But it was more of a. He's telling me it's kind of similar to like Erik is showing me like the Yangtze River when there was a flood and how it took away a lot of stuff. He said it was kind of similar to that on that kind of level. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is the Vatican a force for good or evil in the world?
Well, it's not for evil because we know that that doesn't exist, Erik says, but what it does do, it has a lot of control.
Like ego-related control?
Ego-related, and a lot of power. A lot of people consider the Vatican as like a god, and he says there's a lot of control there, a lot. He says there's a lot of riches in there.
Yeah.
And nobody questions anything.
That's too bad.
Yeah, he said nobody. He goes, but he says it does serve though as good though also, because there's a lot of healing that people get from going there.
Yeah.
Not so much that the Pope himself is doing, but just the energy that goes on in there, and people believe what is there. So he says there is a lot of healing. I feel like though that's going to get exposed though, what's going on, like all the money in there and stuff and everything. I feel like from what Erik is showing me, like he shows me like the doors being pulled wide open in that, because there is a lot of
wealth. And there's so many people who are starving and yet they have gold leafing here, and yeah,
Yes, that's what's Eric is showing me gold in there.
yeah,
And
not cool.
no, and he said, but I feel Eric gives me the impression like that's going to be exposed, and it
Okay.
is slowly getting exposed. But he says, it's really hard to expose a religion,
I know.
because you got a lot of people kicking and screaming when it
I
comes to
know,
that.
and there's so many Catholics, devoted Catholics, and Catholicism and other religions do some good. I mean, there's
Yes.
nefarious parts of it, but is the Vatican involved in any nefarious activities?
Eric says that, well, Eric just tells me not all their money is being put into clean spending.
Oh, okay. Enough said. Enough said. Was Princess Di, this person asked, who murdered Princess Di and why was she murdered? But first of all, was she even murdered?
I know, and I love Princess Diana.
I know.
Eric says, no, she wasn't murdered. He said that really was an accident, and some carelessness took place. It really was an accident, and he says it was an accident.
Okay. Is there a pedophile ring involving the royal family? And did Princess Di, if so, did Princess Di know about it?
No, Princess Diana didn't know about that, because I think she would have done more. Erik is showing me she wouldn't have just stood by and done nothing with on that part.
Right.
But is there a sex ring within the royal family, that immediate royal family? Erik says no.
Okay. All right.
No.
Does Queen Elizabeth really have many dark secrets? And does she have any nefarious activities that she's aware of or involved with? One person trying to take people down, don't like the Brits, I guess. Okay. Just kidding.
Erik says, of course she has stuff that she has put in the closet that she doesn't want people to know about, because we all do that. But he says, he's telling me she really works real hard to keep herself squeaky clean and not to let people know anything about. Has she done things that are kind of shady and stuff like that? He said, of course, because they view it as it's for the betterment of whatever,
For the greater good?
Yes.
Okay.
But Erik is giving me the feeling like there's another layer above her in the government, just like our government. It's kind of like,
Yes. And that's nefarious, or at least partly so?
Erik says partly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 3 more questions. Many people have reported seeing a mermaid off the coast of the Israeli town of Kiryat Yam. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. A news crew captured the creature on camera. What are these people actually seeing?
Erik says that there are mermaids. They don't look like,
like Ariel.
Right. But there are mermaids. He says there's a lot of things in the sea that we have no clue of.
And I want to do a whole thing on the ocean. That'd be so cool.
That would be.
Okay, yeah.
But he said definitely. But he said the people that got that mermaid, because he's shown me the people that got that mermaid on camera, they didn't capture the mermaid. And I also feel like the mermaid, what he's given me the feeling like mermaids are male and female. That's
Oh,
what he,
like hermaphroditic?
yeah, that's what he,
Okay. Okay.
like that. And I was like,
Well, it's not like they can spread their legs, so it's probably true. That makes total sense. Okay. Can you tell us more about the species, Erik?
Erik says that he says, don't worry, they're not going to come to where we live, because he says they really like the cold, 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 cold waters.
Oh,
And
wow.
I feel Erik gives me the feeling like the reason why they like that is because um it's a lot calmer. When I say calmer, there's not a lot of human activity and stuff, because of the coldness. It's
I
not like
see.
going to, Cancun or
Yeah.
California or Hawaii. But
Where women go wild. Women go wild. You don't want to be around them, let me tell you.
but Erik,
Well, where do they
he,
live? Okay, go ahead.
he says that they live in the water, obviously, but he says that there's a lot of, he says this is, a lot of caves that are deep, deep, deep within the water. Like we haven't even touched anything
Oh,
there that we
wow.
don't know. But he
Okay.
says and I've heard this before. I saw this on a TV show too. So he's on a documentary, but it's like he says, and he's referring to that. He's showing me like way back, God, before Christopher Columbus days, whenever he was around. I don't know what time frame, but he said that people saw mermaids and stuff like that,
Yeah.
the animals. That's how they knew to carve them out in wood and have them on their ships and stuff like that. Um, and Erik says that he's telling me that long time ago that the mermaids and some other sea creatures that we don't know nothing about um, are treated like as goddesses or whatever.
Oh, by
Uh,
whom?
by way back then by the humans, they
Oh,
were treated like goddesses.
why? Did they have special powers?
Erik tells me like there's like an energy they put out in the water,
Oh,
and it's almost like hypnotic feeling or whatever. But he says that we need to stop looking for them because there's no reason for us to know about them.
okay.
Like we don't need to go find them and dissect them and research them
Oh,
and find out about their habitat.
yeah.
And
Oh.
he says that he's saying that we need to stop that. And
Are they
I,
from another planet or other planets?
no, he said they're from here. They're
Okay.
from here. He says he's giving me the feeling like they're like thousands of years old.
Wow. Each one? Or the
Like
species itself?
the species itself is like thousands
Oh.
year old. Yeah.
How many are there, you think, more or less, in the world?
When you say that, Erik is telling me thousands, and I'm asking him why were they able to capture that one on
Yeah, yeah.
camera? And he says these are very highly intelligent sea creatures. They're very
Mm,
highly intelligent,
mm.
and he said that this is so fascinating to me. He's
It's
saying that
awesome.
he's saying that the reason why they were willing to be captured in that, like because they know because they go by vibration, feeling the energy, but it's almost like they were wanting to be seen, they were wanting to
Mhm.
know. But he says, but Erik says that we won't. There will be always someone, but it will not be a continued search for it because they're
Okay,
going to
okay.
give up.
Why do they want to be seen?
Um,
Just messing with their heads.
Erik says just kind of like playfulness or whatever, because Erik
Oh,
says,
okay.
yeah, like just to I feel like whoever it was that was, Erik gives me a feeling like whatever equipment they had was able to go really deep.
Oh, okay.
But not as deep as they can go, but it went really deep, and they were just kind of, like you said, playfulness, curious.
Okay. What part of the world are they in? You said cold. Is it like in the Arctic regions or
I feel like
off of Norway? Or I don't
that's
know.
where it is. I get like Iceland, Finland, around in there, around in that cold area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Stephen Greer, an expert on the ET cover-up. I never heard of him. Is he providing accurate information? He claims that there are no negative ETs.
Erik said he's done his homework, and this guy, Erik says that's, he is accurate when he says there's no negative, because we think negative like somebody's coming here to harm us. He
Yeah.
said we're doing that ourselves.
True.
So they're just standing back.
Yeah.
So there's no one, but there are no ETs that can come. Erik is saying there's no ETs that can come and make us do something that we're not willing to go do.
Oh, good. Okay.
He said they can't brainwash. They cannot brainwash. So evidently somebody must think that, because Erik to say that.
Okay. Last question. A couple of credible sources have said that Jesus was not crucified at all. Well, actually, Jesus said that himself on one of our interviews. That a follower took his place on the cross. I know Jesus is a friend of yours. He's a friend of everybody. And that's a sensitive subject, but can you confirm? So, did Jesus die on the cross? I mean, he told us no. That he was able to, because what he learned from the Yoda, whatever, he was able to decrease the respiratory rate and pulse rate so low that it seemed like he was dead. And then people ushered him off to France, and he had 5 kids and married Mary, etc. But I don't know. I mean,
Erik says you're a good mom. Erik says you're a good mom. He says
it's what I do.
He said, yeah, and as you were saying that, he says there's a lot of, when I say a lot, like he's showing me, like there's hundreds of people, like Yoda people yogi people that can bring their breathing down to where it's almost like they're dead.
Yeah.
And he says, it's almost like a deep form of sleep meditation, and what happens is they go traveling out of their bodies, and this is fascinating, Erik, and he's telling me how they go visiting other cities, states, countries. Cool. They go and they meet up with other people. He's telling me that there's other people that the ones that know how to do this, they kind of communicate together and go visiting one another and stuff like that. I know that is cool. And he's telling me, and somehow or another, Erik showed me, like with water, that they're able to withstand. I don't know how that would work, Erik, about being underwater, how they can just labor their breathing, like
if they can slow down their breathing and pulse rate, I bet they can.
Yeah,
there have been people who were pronounced dead, and 3 days later they're in the morgue. It's like, hey, I'm not dead. So weird things have happened, man.
Yeah, Erik says, but Erik said, he said everybody's so fascinated about Jesus, because he says you have this group that believes he did die on the cross, and you have this group that doesn't believe, and then you have this group that's not real sure about it. And Erik says, go with what you feel if you're not real sure yourself. He says, but the fact of it is, and he says, my mom said how it was, because he said he told you what really happened in a video. Yeah.
That's really tough, because that's the whole point of Christianity, is that Jesus died on the cross to absolve us of our sins. So that just like totally upends Christianity. So what do you have to say about that, Erik, or Jesus?
Erik says that, the sin thing, he said it's been talked about, that's out of fear. He says, but people, he says, and also, Erik says that it's a money-making business to get baptized.
Oh, yeah.
Because you pay for them.
Oh, yeah.
But he says that, there is no sin, so
there's no right or wrong. There just is, and everything bad or good is just a wonderful teachable moment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Erik says there's a lot of books written about there is no sin, but people want to punish people.
I know. It's a way of control, and also it's a way to for ourselves to explain our guilt feelings. Or I don't know what it is, but it's silly.
We want to blame. We want to blame somebody.
Yeah.
Hold them accountable.
I mean, we focus on blame, not solutions. Always. It's terrible. All right. Thank you, Denise. That's all I got. Erik, thank you so much, my sweetie pie.
He says he loves you so much. He's just squeezing you again. Squeezing you. Oh,
I love you.
I told him, visit her in her dreams.
Please.
Yeah.
Denise, you want to share anything? Besides your website, which is www.deniseraymond.com. I will put it here. What else you got? What else you got for us, girl?
That is really, I don't really have anything else. I've been busy because I work a corporate job and do this on the side.
Now, when are you going to stop that and go full time, girl?
Erik keeps telling me when I'm going to do it. And then I was all excited. And then I was like, okay, but wait, maybe I can do this but
it's scary.
It's going to happen. It is. And I didn't realize how scary it was. But Erik is, and my guides are really helping me to stay centered.
Yeah.
Because I like to go everywhere, and really teaching me about trust and walking through fear.
Good.
That fear is just an illusion. It's not even real.
So much, yes. Absolutely.
It's not even
As
real.
a scarcity, you don't have to worry about that. Abundance. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Be sure you guys check out the October event we're going to have at my place. And it's on the right-hand sidebar of the blog if you want to check it out. And, okay, I love you, Denise. I love you, Erik.
Love you, Mom.
Bye.
Love you too, Elisa. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.